everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. As you can see from the title, I'm going to be talking about marriage, my favorite topic to talk about, specifically what I've learned being a wife. As you know from my previous videos, I made 2 years married in December. So do I have lots of experience being married? Do I have lots of experience being a wife? I do not. If you don't agree with anything that I talk about in this video, that's okay. I'm always open for discussion, so you can always leave your comments in the comment section. So I met my husband in high school. We did not date until probably 4 or 5 years later after high school. We dated for 3 years. We decided to get married because he was getting stationed to Germany in a few months. So we just had a quick little wedding that we put together. It's so weird because we dated for 3 years. I was so committed to that relationship, and I gave myself completely. When we got married though, it was like, when you get married, it's a different feeling. It's like, people say marriage is just a piece of paper, but it's not. Like, marriage is probably the biggest decision anyone would ever choose to make in their life. It's a forever thing. If I made a video of everything that I've learned being a wife in these first 2 years, this video would probably be like 2 hours long. One thing I have learned while being married is just how much I love being a wife. I grew up kind of independently. I felt like anything a man can do for me, I can do for myself. I think that's what's beautiful about marriage. When you don't need this person, but you love this person so much that you want them. You don't need to be married to this person. You don't need to rely on this person, but you love them so much and you trust them so much that you can just let your guard down. Trust them and lean on them and count on them and depend on this person. You want to live life and do life with this person. Growing up, I never had a perfect example of what a healthy marriage is. I always had examples of things that I did not want to be like. Edwin and I did not do a premarital course, so we were not prepped for marriage. We just went into marriage. We decided to do it last minute because he was going to be going to Germany due to the military, and we just decided to get it over with instead of waiting until the date that we had originally planned it for. If you are planning to get married, I would suggest a premarital course. I would suggest sitting with someone, a pastor or a minister, or someone who can just kind of prep you for marriage. No matter what course you do, no matter how long you've been in that course, a person is never going to be prepared or ready for what marriage is going to bring. Before you get married, make sure whatever baggage you have, that you deal with it. Make sure that anything that you have dealt with, or any trauma that you have, make sure that you get that handled first. Make sure you get healed from that, because coming into marriage, you're just going to bring that into marriage. Marriage does not remove the baggage. Marriage does not take it away. If anything, it enhances it. If you have trust issues or something from a prior relationship where you got cheated on, or you experienced some type of trauma from a previous relationship, you are going to bring that into your marriage, and you're not going to trust your husband. It's going to be hard to keep peace or find peace in your marriage. So whatever you're dealing with, whatever baggage you have, make sure you deal with it before you get into the marriage. Learn your spouse's love language. Just because you accept love a certain way does not mean that your spouse accepts love that a certain way. My love language is personal touch, quality time. Everyone hasn't really looked into this whole love languages thing. I kind of learned what his love language is, and it's definitely words of affirmation. He likes to be uplifted, and he loves to be complimented, and he likes to feel good about himself. So that's what I try to do. I try to make him feel good about himself. We need to show our husbands respect. I've talked about this before in another video. I can't stress how important it is to respect your husband. Respect his likes, respect his dislikes, respect who he is. Just don't belittle him. Men were created to be masculine, and us as females, when we talk down on men, it impacts them more than we realize that it does. It also makes them feel like they can't be vulnerable, or they can't be themselves, or they can't mess up, or they can't be weak because we talk down on them. When we don't show our husbands respect and we talk down on them, it makes them work harder to try to be this macho person, or try to be this, like, the male figure, and then you're disrespecting them, and then they're gonna come back out and disrespect you, and It's not going to be pretty. Again, it's biblical. You will find that in the Bible. And the Bible is our life manual. The Bible is not going to tell us to respect our husband. God is not going to tell us to respect our husband if he didn't think that it wasn't important. Always show your husband respect. Never emasculate him. Always make him feel like he is the man and the leader of the relationship, of the head of the family, head of the household. If you want your husband to be these things and he is not being those things, how is he ever going to be those things if you never speak good or never speak life into him and you're always just speaking negativity? Respect your husband and you will get respect back. Something else that I've learned as a wife: communication is so important. Talking about the little things, talking about the big things, it's so important. If you don't talk about the little things because you don't feel like it's a big deal, you feel like you shouldn't mention this, you feel like you're nagging, you feel like you're complaining, if it makes you feel some way, address it. The way you address it is the most important part. If you come into the conversation attacking your husband and cursing and being loud and aggressive, what do you think you're gonna get back? Is he gonna respond back to you kindly? Is he gonna respond back to you polite? Probably not. Before you go into a conversation, you need to check the way you approach it. You need to check the way you speak. You need to check the way you say things. You need to check what you say. Communication is the most important factor or element in a relationship. If there is no communication, you don't have a relationship. Communicate so that you guys are not holding things in and then you grow resentment towards each other. But also, comprehension is very important as well. You could be communicating something, your spouse could be communicating something to you, but you're not comprehending. You're not really listening. You're not paying attention. You're trying to just fight back. You're trying to just state your case. You're trying to defend yourself. Listen to what your spouse is saying. And it may not be a big deal to you, but if it hurts your spouse, if it bothers your spouse, you are no one to tell them how to feel. You cannot tell them that it wasn't a big deal. You cannot tell them that they need to get over it. You just cannot invalidate their feelings. You cannot tell them that they cannot feel some way because you don't think it's a big deal. Give your spouse space. This was something that was very hard for me in the beginning of our relationship, especially because we were long distance. There was so much space. We had so much space in between us. What more space do you need when you're long distance? This one was very hard for me to understand because Edwin was at work all day. I was at work all day. We had a 6-hour time difference. So when he came out of work, I wanted to be his priority, not realizing or grasping the concept that he worked all day outside. He worked all day in the heat. He's tired. He needs time to relax and he needs some downtime. Give your husband space. It's nothing personal towards you, but they just like their space. He works all week. He works in the heat. He works outside. He's tired when he comes home. So I like to give him his space. The only time this would ever turn into an argument is when he doesn't keep a balance, because just as much as your downtime is important and your space is important and you want to unwind, so is your marriage. Your marriage is important and your marriage should always be a priority. A person needing space does not mean that they don't love you. It does not mean that they don't care about you. It does not mean that they don't respect the marriage. We're all human. We all get tired. We all need space. We all need time to rest. We all need time to reset, escape. So give your spouse space. If he needs space, give him space. Last but not least, marriage is a partnership. Marriage takes teamwork. You cannot have a marriage with one person. A marriage is two people. So that means two people have to be putting in work. Two people need to be intentional. Two people need to respect. Two people need to communicate. Two people need to comprehend. Marriage is two people. Both people in the marriage need to be putting in work. Marriage is teamwork. Your spouse can't do it and you can do it. Never, ever keep score of who does what more or who pays for what or who did what. Never keep score of that. When you decide to get married, you decide to be a team. You decide to be one person. If your spouse cannot pay this bill this month, you can. It's your job to do it. Don't ever take account for the things that you do and the things that that person does not do. Especially when it comes to finances, when it comes to money, come to a mutual agreement, respect each other in making decisions with money. That is all I have for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below, turn on your post notifications so you get notified every time I post a new video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!